What's happening, YouTube? Bought a unit this week. Super excited. I'm actually in the middle of cleaning it out right now. I'm officially calling this one the Dead Guy unit. I don't know if you guys seen Glendon's channel. He tells stories about previous units in the past. I've always liked that and kind of wanted to do the same today. But before I go into telling you this crazy story actually about this unit, I wanted to make a couple pointers, or a couple tips that I've done, that I've seen on the channels, and it's absolutely correct. The night before, I did my homework. I called all the the places that were supposed to have auctions that day, made sure how many was left, kind of planned my route. It sounds tedious, but believe me, it pays off. I can't even tell you how awesome it pays off to do this. So there was one main auction going on that day. This particular auctioneer, he lives out of state, he comes into town, everybody knows about this guy, he heavily promotes his auctions, so literally everybody and their mother shows up to this. You guys know how I feel about the crowds. I'm okay with it, but I want to avoid it like the plague. So, did my homework the night before. I happened to call up one of my honey holes, so to speak, and found out that they were still on for their auction. Now, this particular spot, it's kind of like a secret auction. Now, obviously it's not secret, but you really have to be in the know to know when this auction is going on. They do not promote, they do not advertise. In fact, the one ad that they post is not even in the main newspaper. It's in a separate newspaper, so to speak, and you got to be a subscriber to this newspaper to even know about it. But anyway, show up to that auction, obviously, and there's about 10 to 15 people there. Yep, 10 to 15 people. Even with the shows going on, even with the crowds, you could still find places like this, or you could still stumble upon places like this, if you know what you're looking for and what you're doing. So anyway, 10 to 15 people, super excited. These 10 to 15 people, however, are the seasoned veterans. They've been doing it way longer than I have. They got super deep pockets. So although I'm not up against the crowds, I'm up against the giants, so to speak, the big whales. Going throughout the day, seeing a bunch of good stuff. I didn't really get that gut feeling, so I was kind of bidding on some, and I went up, to a small amount, lost whatever. Then they roll up to the Dead Guy unit. Right when the door opens, you get that feeling like I have to have this unit. Bidding started out at 20 bucks. One of my competitors, we really haven't had words with, but we know each other, if you know what I mean. He comes right up next to me. 50 bucks, 100 bucks, 150, 250, back and forth, all the way up to 600 bucks. Now, side note, what I generally do, and this is just from my personal experience and what I do, what I see in the unit, I quickly assess it on what I can get rid, or what I could sell it for almost immediately, what stuff that I know the values on. Half of that is what I'll generally go up to on a unit. Now, with that being said, I don't know if it's because of where I live, or the personality type that I have, I like to factor in a gut bid. Now, what that means is you get that gut feeling that you just absolutely know, and you're willing to take a little risk on spending a little more for that unit. This was definitely a gut one. They roll up the door, I get excited, I quickly see about $900 to $1,100 worth of stuff that I could sell and that I knew the value for. So right away, I'm at $500 where I'm capped. That I want to cap myself, I should say. But since this was a gut unit, and I wanted this one so bad, I bumped it up to $600. So right when the lady got up to that $600 mark, my bid, I wanted her to just close the auction super fast. She drew it out. Going once, long pause. Going twice, long pause. My competitor hops in and he says, "What's the bid at again?" She's 600. 600. You know, she's calling it out like someone bid against this guy, or at least this is what I was feeling. Someone bid against this guy because he's about to steal this for 600 bucks. Sold. I was stoked. Shut the unit, put my lock on it, walk away. Right away, the district manager for this particular facility, a co-worker or secretary, I don't know, they both pulled me aside. And when you buy units at auction and you got managers pulling you aside right away, generally in my experience, that's not a good sign. So I get the we kind of have a situation speech. Evidently, the particular person's unit that I bought just started calling up frantically upset. I'll just go ahead and say it. Evidently the gentleman said, my dead father is in the unit. Now, the minute they told me that, 50% of me was like, oh, you know, dead people in the unit, not good, I feel bad, blah, blah, blah. The other 50%, I gotta be honest, is this is gonna be a nightmare. I'm not gonna see any of this stuff. I lost the unit. And it's like, oh, really? You know, the one unit that I really, really wanted that day, and I actually got, now this is happening to me. So, no big deal. Plenty more. I already started to mentally prepare myself. There'll be plenty more. It's okay. I'll get my money back. So, evidently, lost the translation, I guess, or I don't know how it came to that there was a body in the unit. Make a long story short, there wasn't a body in the unit. However, there was his father's cremation, I guess, ashes, so to speak. His father's ashes were in the unit. The gentleman was upset, rightly so. Calls up frantically. So, when you're messing with dead bodies, when you're messing with any type of stolen merchandise, any type of drugs, stuff like that, super headache, you'll lose your stuff. When you come across drugs, and I almost do it in every unit, I just throw it away. You know, don't ask, don't tell. I get rid of it immediately. Illegal merchandise, I don't know if it's illegal, you know. But anyway, super stressed out about that unit. Now, sorry, I lost my train of thought here. Ashes, personal effects, pictures, baby photos, social security cards, debit cards, birth certificates, all that stuff you will find in a unit. What I generally do, put it all in a box off to the side when I'm sorting it, bring it back to the office. I have no business touching that stuff or having it in my possession. It's, you know, generally good karma to do that stuff, or at least I think so. So, good tip, keep everything but the personal effects. And what I mean by personal effects, you know, baby pictures, things like that. So, hopefully this will be a good unit. You know, from what I pulled out so far, I'm excited, I'm happy, but you never know. All the stuff I've seen could be broke. All the stuff I've seen could be missing parts. I mean, that's just the nature of the game. You never know. I wanted to film myself emptying out the unit, but I figured, I don't know, I just wasn't comfortable with it. You know, I just bought it. I don't know who's watching this channel, so I think I'll do another time-lapse video of me sorting it out, but we'll go ahead and see. Anyway, you know, I hope you guys are doing great, and I'll keep you posted.